Hi, I'm Megan, and welcome to another episode of SnackBreak with Meg. I'm really excited today because we're talking about creepy snack stories and where they came from. Today, it's the creepy history of cheese. Now, this story is enough to make anyone's stomach start to curdle. No pun intended. Actually, yes, I did try to do that. Make it a little cheesy for you. But it's a little foul, okay? Because this all supposedly came to happen back in the day when milk was stored in animal stomach sacks. Yeah, so after people would kill an animal, and they would use different parts of it for different things, the animal stomach was used as a way to store and preserve milk. And you can even think about animal stomachs as the actual first reusable water bottle, because they were. When travelers and people that were exploring would get on their camel or get on their horse and they start trotting around, they would have a stomach sack on the side of their cargo. And this was basically used to store milk so they could bring it around with them. Because, sometimes you just need a little swig of milk. You just need a little taste, a little teeny taste. But anyone who's had milk that's gone bad, that sat out too long or expired, when you go reach for your milk jug, you bring it up to your nose, you take a little sniff, do the sniff test, and you're like, that's bad. When you pour it down the drain, it's all chunky, lunky, and it looks a little like cottage cheese. It smells horrible. Well, when that would happen in these stomach sacks, it would do the exact same thing, unfortunately. And it would create like a yogurt cottage cheese kind of consistency in the stomach sacks. The stomach sacks. In those things, it would get all nasty. So some snack historians, I think we should coin that, actually. I think that's what I'm going to start referring to myself as after all these podcast episodes. I am now the snack historian, okay? Okay, you can call me Snack Professor Megan, okay. But basically, people say that this is what caused the experimentation to start happening with cheese. What do we do with this substance? I don't know who in their right mind would look at that and be like, I think this could be the ultimate snack that'll be used for years and years to come and ultimately become just a staple in our households. There's another theory, though, I want to share with you. And this one's a little bit more magical, okay? The story goes that the son of a Greek god is actually the one who started to teach humankind about what cheese is and how to make it, okay? So from Greek text, it says that Aristeas' son, Aristeas, he's the son of Apollo. He was the one who went around and taught humans how to make cheese and how to understand the process in which cheese is made. And this folklore ultimately ended up resulting in people learning how to make cheese through this text, which is honestly kind of awesome. I would love to say that I learned how to make anything from a Greek god, or at least the son of a Greek god. You feel? In ancient Greek times, cheese played a big role. It was considered a luxury item, and all sorts of different creations, snack creations, pastries, meals, anything you can imagine, really. They were all came to light because of cheese. And if you can imagine, such a delicacy was also used as a part of like wedding snacks when people will get married in ancient Greek times. What would you have if you had the means to have it? And that was cheese. So the old movies where you watch like ancient Greeks or Romans and they're being fed grape by grape, cheese cube by cheese cube, that's really not that inaccurate. They loved cheese just like you and I do. Since cheese has been around for thousands and thousands of years, and people in olden times, they love cheese almost as much as us. Well, honestly, they probably love cheese more because they didn't have entertainment. I mean, what do? You go outside and play marbles, maybe? You go dig for stuff in the yard? Cheese would have been my pastime for sure if I lived back in these days, okay? But since cheese was such a commodity, a hot, cheesy commodity, like fondue. Archaeologists and explorers to this day are still finding cheese in ancient tombs. Yeah, because cheese was seen as a worthy offering for the gods. So it's just incredible, absolutely incredible to think about. Let's say you and I are an archaeologist, okay? We go trotting around and we're trying to find, I don't know, Cleopatra or maybe King Tut's tomb. We think we find it. We get there. There's no mummy, but there's a gorgeous chest. We open it up, expecting to find King Tut some way, somehow. And instead, we find a bunch of 1,000-year-old stinky cheese. Maybe then we'll discover the next type of cheese. Who knows? Oh my gosh. At least we don't have to store cheese in the stacked stomach sacks. The stomach sacks. Yeah, the first water bottles, you know? If you're as obsessed with snacks as I am, you might have found yourself on the side of the internet that is the cheesemongers. And I cannot take my eyes away from this. There's a Canadian cheese store, and they post all these videos where you learn about different types of cheeses and how to make them. And if you're questioning, like I originally did, is cheesemonger just like a cute name that is being used? No, it's not. It's a profession that will make you question your career choice, just like it does for me when I look at these cheeses and I think to myself, man, I could be eating, tasting, inspecting, and slicing cheese right now. I could be. So the cheesemongers, essentially, what they do in these videos, it's so cool. They take big wheels of cheese, okay, and they take a piece of wire and they cut the cheese through with it, and they explain to you about the brine, the wax, the aging process, the funguses. It's absolutely crazy to think about the fact we eat fungus. Not just like natural fungus, like mushrooms, but we eat fungus. We eat the cheese, the fungus among us. So even though now you know where one of your favorite food items is from, don't hold it against the cheese. Cheese has done nothing to you or I, unless you are like me and you're kind of a lactate type of person, but you eat cheese anyway. It's just part of it. Don't hate on cheese just because it came from stomach sacks. It could be worse. But anyway, thanks for listening to this episode of Snack Break with Meg. We like to keep it short and sweet here. I appreciate you listening, and you can go check out more on social media. Just look up Snack Break with Meg. You can also look up me. It's Megan Terry, and go to meganterry.org to see the full article of this episode and some little extras too. I'll see you next time on Snack Break with Meg.